For this week's lab assignment, you're going to be doing an internal style sheet and an external style sheet. Your internal style sheet, you're going to be adding to that detail summary page you created in lesson 3. Now, you could all choose your own topics for that, and I did mine on big cats. And so when I applied the styles, this is what it looked like. And these are minimum requirements for those styles. And if you want to do more, that's perfectly fine. In fact, it's great if you want to do more, but you have to do the minimum in order to get all of the points. And this is going to be an internal style sheet. And we did quite a few of those in the textbook assignment. So you should have a lot of examples to look at. And then as far as part 2 of this goes, you are going to update your assignment page with links. And you're also going to create an external style sheet for your assignment page. And this is just an example of what those links would look like. And again, if you didn't use the same naming conventions as I did, then you're going to have to adjust the links because they won't work. So you can see that for my folders, I used a capital L, and I put the number right after the word lesson with no spaces. If you did yours in lowercase, you have to make that adjustment. If you added spaces, you have to make that adjustment or the links won't work. Everything when you test it live online is case sensitive. So any change that you made to the names, the upper and lower case, you have to incorporate that into your own links. So yours will look similar, but if you didn't use the same naming conventions, you're going to have to make that adjustment. After you do the links, then you are going to create an external style sheet that you are then going to have to link into your assignment page. We also did several examples of that in the textbook assignment. The minimum requirements for your external style sheet are listed. And you'll notice that H2 and H3 are listed together. Does that mean that you have to do the same colors and everything? No. They just have the same requirements. So you can list them together or separate, totally up to you. I did give you kind of an example of what I ended up with. I changed my background to black and white graphic, and then I did some styling for colors. And if you have a darker background graphic, your black text is not going to show up. So what I ended up doing is basically putting a white background below my text, and then I made it slightly transparent. So I did end up doing a few extra styles. I did more than the minimum, and that is perfectly okay. I actually like it when people do more than the minimum. If you want to see what I did to create this, I actually am giving you a link to it. So that is all of the styling that I did to create this look. And up at the top in the comments, I've got the hex values that I used for colors. And I actually used the Adobe site to grab my colors. But you can see I've got all of the requirements in here plus some extras. And I did do H2 and H3 separate. You can see in my section, that is where I put that white background. And I also added left margin to the paragraphs. And what that did was it just kind of indented my text here. Okay, and then for my links, you can see that I used the same styling for the link and the visited, the hover and the active. that is perfectly okay if you want to do that, or you can do them each separately. And then finally, for your assignment, you do need to add an inline style, and it will be for the footer. So at the very bottom, you have a footer that you need to style, and it should be done with an inline style. So this is going to be in your web page itself, inside your footer tag. You want to do the style attribute, and you want to change alignment, background color, color of text, width, padding, all that kind of stuff. Now, after you've got your detail summary CSS done, and you've updated your assignment page, you're going to want to transfer those files. And I think I'll show you quick how to do that. Because transferring is sometimes a little tricky for people. Yeah, let me open 180. So you always want to open the folder when you transfer. And one of the things that you're transferring is going to go into your lesson 4 folder, but the other one, assignments and your CSS folder, need to be here at this main level. That's what makes this one a little bit tricky. I've got to find my OneDrive here. Say Windows never makes it very easy to find things. That's not where it is. There it is. All right, so first I'm just going to do assignments. Now, it's important when I drag this that I don't land on top of any existing folders. So I'm just going to take it and drag it below the existing folders. And the first time it always asks if you want to replace. I'm just going to put a little check here. You'll notice that override is turned on. Putting a check here, I don't have to see this again during my FTP session. And then I'm going to take this CSS folder, and I'm going to drag that kind of below the existing folders as well, because I want it here on this main level. And because I changed my media, let me open this, and let me open this. So I've got Key West here, but I don't have it here. So I'm going to drag that over there. And now I have the background that I'm using. Let me go up a level by double clicking. So at this point, I've got assignments, the new version on the web, and I'm going to open up lesson 4. And let's see. So what I'm going to have to do is transfer my big cats. And I just quick refresh this because big cats is there. It wasn't showing at first. And if that ever happens to you, just right click, refresh. It should give you a current listing. Sometimes I have to do that over on the web as well. And what I'm going to do is take big cats and I'm going to left drag it. I'm going to go again below the files and the folders. And that will put the page up here. And then I've got to open up media on both sides and drag up all of those graphics that are in that particular page and that are linked into that page, because none of those graphics are on the server. So let me just pop all those up here. And I'm going to double click and go back up a level. So at this point, I have everything transferred. So the next step for you guys is to go online and take a look at everything and make sure it looks okay. So I'm going to launch here Firefox, and we'll just key in. And then the username, CIT180. And here's the page. You can see the hover effect. And then you are going to want to check those links to make sure they work. Because this is precisely what I do when I'm checking your work. And you want to double check, make sure that they work offline the same way that they work online. So you're going to have to check all your links and everything to make sure they work, because this is what I'm going to do when I'm correcting. Because if they don't work live online, okay, then that's a problem that you're going to have to fix. Okay, so always after you transfer, pull it up live, make sure that it works. And don't forget to check your lab assignment as well. So everything should show. And your thumbnails linking to the larger image should work. So you're going to want to check those as well. Okay, and then once you verified everything works after you transfer it, I would go into those drop boxes and enter done.